Well, welcome everybody, and thank you for joining this session. So I think we all at the stage where we all technologists. We love obviously business. We love going to market, launching new product. And so what we try to do in this session is really organizing what we've learned from you, our customers. Our customers are telling us a lot the technology they're employing with our Looker platform. They're also telling us a lot about the different way of going to market, the new product. So really this session is I should have called it like lessons learned from your monetization strategies. And we've assembled it, packaged it, so we have a better understanding and we're able to help you navigating through an array of go-to-market strategy, but also how to choose a path of monetizing data. I know everybody talks about it, but we've discovered that there are many paths, many techniques that you guys can employ. And so it's more like an eye-opener on indirect, direct, or both monetization strategies. And of course, we go through some examples on how our top customers, like top innovators, are willing to share with you. We collected some metrics. Those are not from Google. They are from McKinsey. And really when those metrics are about product lifecycle, really about when you see customer metric like customer acquisition, 23x, value delivered to your customers, 15x. And you're going to tell me, well, those metrics are, obviously those are averages and they're from surveys, but frankly, from any SaaS companies, any data product, any companies we've been working on, and the moment they launched a data product, whether it's a static dashboard down to self-service exploration or a custom data application that brings insight and true added value to your customers or your partners, you will see, and you're probably experiencing for those who have deployed those techniques, like such as having some dashboards, insights, and an automated workflow by sending a text message or an alert on a couple of metrics, you will see almost an instant increase either in engagement, but of course acquisition, and your retention metrics will follow along those lines. What this text here is all about is, for me, for the past 5 years at Looker, helping our customers, of course, moving to cloud technology, which is Looker with an in-database technology, and being more agile, being able to deploy web application with data analytics inside across the globe, across multiple regions, multiple clouds. And from a technology standpoint, we came to a point where Looker has reached a very mature level in order for you to build your data product. But what we thought would be helpful to you is not just talking about technology, it's also about helping you in assisting you in crafting new business models. It's not about just, we always talk about digital transformation, and I tend to say it's a digital transformation associated to also a business model innovation attached to the technology you employ. So what we're going to talk today is the winning strategy, of course, is creating business value by adding data apps to your portfolio. And fast. The equation of monetization is, of course, adding revenue based on an existing product by leveraging some of those dashboards, insights. We'll talk about that in details. But part of the equation is, of course, to have a low TCO when it comes to the cost of operating your modern data stack. And so being able to deploy it quickly, from an idea to a product, is key in order to recoup those revenue the fastest way possible. So I talked about customers, so we just wanted to show you some of the customers that we love working with and that we've learned a lot. We learn from you on how you monetize, how you innovate with data. And I just wanted to thank those customers for inspiring us and also helping them, not just technologically speaking, but also on the business side to monetize data. So 2 trends we've learned from those customers, and of course others. The first one is those a consumer application won't necessarily look like a BI or a dashboard. A lot of our customers have started with a phase one using a out-of-the-box Looker dashboard and quickly said, well, on the homepage, we can't really throw a dashboard in order to retain or acquire new customers. We need something a little bit more, with a user experience that is less dashboard oriented. And for that, they're using, of course, the Looker API, which I'm sure some of you are familiar with. The second trend is unlocking customer value, leads to unlocking revenue. I know it makes sense, but what I will provide you some example. It's really not about focusing on just throwing dashboards and insight, line chart and pie charts all over the place. It's really trying to question yourself, like, is the metric that I'm going to display for my consumer is literally adding value or helping my consumer changing its behavior? And you'll see this is almost like an introduction to what we call indirect monetization. But before we dive into indirect and direct monetization, I just wanted to provide, I would say, the way we see the monetary value for your consumers. And we try to assemble all the things we've heard from you and in a hopefully concise manner. On the left side, and we'll go from the left to the right, and we think that by following, organizing those thoughts, you'll be ready to monetize your data. And you can probably do it very early as well. The first step is, of course, insights in every product. Like you have you're launching a new device and having some kind of KPIs that just shows the uptime of your device. Just basically having analytics that prove the value of a service or a product. The second, I would say, iteration or added value is being cross devices, like having analytics insights available through all channels, all devices. And what we mean by all channels is you should be able to send those insights by email or through Slack or text message, because your consumers, the way they live, have dramatically changed. They are on the go and they want to receive, they want to be informed, and they don't necessarily want to drill down all the time. You should be able to send them recommendations. You should be able to educate them on KPIs. And tell them, okay, you see this metric, and this is the recommendation, the recommended path for outcome A, B, or C. Of course, always in real time. I know some of you are already looking at me, and we all know what real time means in data, but we would say the freshest information, and of course at the pace that is relevant depending on your business operations. AI and machine learning. This is obviously something that you've all asked in our meetings. We bundle Looker, which is a data as a service platform, and also the cloud analytics tool. You can obviously bundle Looker with your favorite AI ML technique, practice, R, Python, using existing frameworks such as Google TensorFlow. We also use a lot of BQML that is natively supported by Looker. I recently worked on a healthcare project to harvest the survival curve, leveraging a Kaplan-Meier analysis technique in order to fuel information on the survival of certain devices in clinical trial. And all of that to say the recommendation, the forecasting techniques, all of that has obviously tremendous value for your consumers. And once you've bundled all of that, we of course advise our customers to focus on the UI and UX to humanize the information so they don't have to click everywhere, and provide a lift on the design aspect, because we all know that in order to retain consumers, the UI and UX is key and has to be minimal yet efficient in order for your consumers to access and gain insights very quickly. Now, I've gathered for you a pyramid of, or let's call it a go-to-market hierarchy around monetization. And we think that you should explore all of those. Even if you're not going to use all of it, I think it's good to have some kind of framework, foundations on how you're going to monetize your data. I think one mistake that we've seen a lot, and what I mean by mistake, it's always debatable, but one shortcut that we always do is focusing on the middle part, which is the tiered SaaS offering, like kind of like bronze, silver, gold, or basic to premium. Whereas a lot of revenue actually will come from indirect monetization, as well as the top, which is diamond. So let me clarify from bottom up what those monetization segment means. Indirect monetization is really the art of pushing insights to your consumers that will prove the value of your equipment, of your product, of your service, but also will drive behaviors and engagement. I can give you a quick example. For example, you look at buying an electric bike. I'm actually looking at buying an electric bike, so my example will be your example. And so if I go on the page and it says, let's say I've narrowed down my search, I spent 5 hours on watching YouTube, on looking for a bike, and I see a bike with a buy button, and I see the same bike on another website with buy now, 2 bikes left. So I'm using an inventory KPI, which is the stock of bikes. But this product company, this e-commerce, can surface these insights into their product in order to change the behavior. I, as a consumer, will be like, oh, wow, there's only 2 bikes left. That must be a very popular bike. So I'm not saying I'm going to necessarily pull the trigger on this bike, but this is what indirect monetization is, really the use of insights in order to transfer and change the behavior of your consumers with an informed decision. Moving up, the tiered SaaS offering, this is really what we observe with direct monetization. So creation of a new revenue stream, or adding insights and dashboards and a catalog of insights to the portfolio of your product and services in order to increase the monetary value of your existing product or your net new data product. This will be typically a bundle of insights and features. You will be able to unlock features from Looker and also other technologies and bundle them in order to explicitly provide an offering to your customers and directly charge your consumers. And the diamond offer is typically everything that you've experienced. A lot of our clients said, well, my customers, they don't want to access the out-of-the-box dashboard I provided to them. They just want to access the data. And then they want to change the columns. They want to access 3 years of data. They want to access my data through API. My customers, they are a financial services company. They don't want to have a cloud offering. They want to have an on-premise offer. And so all those diamond, I call it diamond segment, all those customized, high-end, enterprise, typically heavily customized offer, you will be able to support them with a platform such as Looker that can be hosted on any cloud, but also on-premise, along unlocking different set of features such as the API and the self-service exploration. From a revenue standpoint, the revenue chart on the right may not be as accurate as presented today. And then I'll tell you why. I've discovered that, of course, we learn every day. We have some customers that mostly now are recouping revenue through indirect monetization, meaning they don't charge for insights, but they use those insights to drive the behaviors of their consumer to buy product or to pull the trigger on a transaction, and we'll see an example. So this is more like an arbitrary kind of academic revenue by client in a SaaS company, such as, let's say, an API software, a data intelligence software. They will see their revenue climbing as they will hit the diamond segment that will typically come with more professional services or with some different statement of work in order to go along the different product and services. Now, we I put these slides together just for you to summarize and kind of also orient the conversation you have with your product team. On the left side, and this is why, again, I say we are technologists. I want to talk about technology, but we also want to talk about how can we increase our conversation with the different product team in order to know what to monetize and how do we want to monetize it. So on the left side, you can see I've listed in red insights, dashboards, drilling, self-service, alerts, API, LookML, the metadata, advanced scheduler. So we have those insights, which is the number one asset. And really, this is something that I don't even debate. It's turning data into information. Your information is literally the gold here. The platform will allow you to, of course, carry on those insights. But once you've packaged that, you need to know, when am I going to distill those insights? Am I going to distill those insights for free? And what I mean for free, they're not going to be for free. They're going to be available. And this is going to be called the indirect monetization. And these insights, you're going to use them to acquire customers, convert customers, retain, engage, adopt, and of course, compete with other products that may offer those insights for free. Your brand recognition is also important, and as a proof of value. And I'll give you a quick example here. I was on a website. I was looking up my home address, and when I look up on this website, a real estate web application offered me to unlock insights from my home, like my home value, the different comps, like the different value of the neighborhood. So they created an entire data product of insights that they've crunched themselves, but they offered me for free, at least to sign up, in order to acquire me as a customer, and they offered me for free those insights. Moving along, and this is where indirect monetization transfer to direct monetization, they're going to be able maybe to offer me more advanced insights, maybe around, or they can also transfer me to some maybe mortgage or refinancing product. So this is a very smart way to create data products that are very innovative, and they don't necessarily need to sell me on it. They offer me a lot of value off the gate. And this is what I think the most important talk track of this monetization is, really thinking before thinking of charging your customers for data, thinking, how can I provide more value to my customers to unlock revenue? And the direct monetization is the more obvious one. This is where you're going to have your insights and your features, and you're going to be able to provide different offering to your customers, whether it's a net new product or whether you attach it to an existing product, and we'll see some example. Now let's talk about indirect monetization. So indirect monetization is really one, I think, of the trendiest topic, and this is where our customers are being very, very successful. A lot of dashboards were not sufficient, and people see like a lack of engagement, and frankly, we don't necessarily connect to a dashboard in the morning. So what our customers are doing now is really distilling through, using the Looker API. So they already have all those insights in the platform, and they call the Looker API and say, hey, I'm going to put this insight into my product. It could be filtering air and say, oh, you need to change your filter, but the air quality is good, but your filter, the remaining filters, let's say the survival of your filter is about to expire, then would you like to renew a filter? So this is an excellent way to change the behavior of your consumers. You give them insights for free, but you drive them to consume. This is another example with Spotify, at the end of the year, or, the OS celebration of giving you insights, how many songs you've listened to, how much time you've listened to, and they give you that through an email. So you don't even have to connect on, as far as I know, there's not a Spotify dashboard section, but they give you those insights through a nice email, nicely formatted. And this is, again, a way for you to be retained. They offer you a service for free that informed you And it's actually fun. You learn that you listen more house music than rock, and you're diehard rock listener. And of course, another trend in indirect monetization is the gamification. We see that through share rating, through food delivery, through of course gaming, through all those devices to fitness device, the gamification. So really, a lot of companies now, instead of providing like those very complex dashboards, are thinking more about what metric can help my customers, my consumers, play with my platform and improve and feel better about it. And this is really a new wave. It could be metrics for let's say you have a platform like a marketplace for contractors, like how can I rank those contractors? How can I engage them? How can I reward them? Those are really the space where we evolve. Now, moving a little bit more on the monetization, I don't know if some of you are into the cryptocurrency space, or if you recognize this interface. Using now insights to make you feel good is very valuable. Why? Your customers are going to be retained, you're going to acquire them, but now you need to think of the revenue for your companies, and the revenue of your company is, let's say, on this particular company, they make money by transaction fees. So right now you track this asset, the Cardano, and you can see there's a buy button. What's fascinating is it could be like any product, literally, like it could be a buy button, it could be a renew, it could be a check offers, it could be any sorts of product transaction. What's fascinating is at the bottom left, they use the KPI called trading activity. That is a recommendation. They kind of use a recommendation engine, and the trading activity is informing the consumer that 78% of people are buying this asset. So indirectly, they tell the customers, "Hey, you should buy it because other people are buying it." So this is an excellent, I think, example to think before selling those insights and having an offer that says, "Hey, we're going to sell that. We have all the data about trading activity. We should sell it, package it, having different tiers." You should think about, do I have insights that I can provide to my consumers that A, will help them making a decision, for example, here to buy certain assets. B, that will help my company converting a transaction. And of course, C, this trading activity trading activity KPI could lead to a direct monetization offer, meaning now that I know the trading activity, I think I have other questions now. Like, are 78% people buying? Are they in US? Are they in Japan? Is it based off sentimental analysis? Is there some Twitter or Bloomberg news that affected this trading activity over time? What's the trading activity over time? But overall, I just wanted to share with you that before thinking of dashboards and a direct monetization path, always think on how you can enrich your product with insights before diving into the direct monetization offering that I've, of course, previewed, where now that you've provided this information for free, you can also think of the credit score. You go on your bank account, online banking account, and you see the credit score displayed. You can track it. They offered you typically the credit score refreshed every week, every month. And they also offer you a direct monetization, typically path where you can explore, drill down into this credit score, maybe to get it in real time, to receive the alerts if there's anything that come up. And this is what I wanted to show you here, is that most of successful companies innovating around data monetization have a path from indirect to direct monetization. They offer for free highly valuable insights that are fairly simple to grasp. I call those the golden metrics. Think of credit score, rank, performance, yield, really high level metrics that are kind of like bridging between your company and your consumers, kind of like the golden metrics that are the contract of information that you provide to your consumer and that your consumer recognize instantly because you've educated them on those metrics. As you retain and educate your consumers on those metrics, it's going to be much easier to articulate for them, adding value and say, hey, this metric is great. It has already helped you a lot. Now we thought of articulating a broader offer with broader insights and with broader technical capabilities along those. So back to my example, adding a correlation analysis, sentimental analysis, like really cataloging all the insights you are capable of providing, because I know you sit on a lot of data. So really going through the exercise of cataloging all these insights, ranking them by added value, like what's the most valuable insights that my customers are going to benefit. Typically, it also comes with a level of complexity. Maybe you've enriched the data with some different data feed and you've transformed. Maybe you created a social media scoring metric that is typically a composite of other metric. And this typically will maybe be provided around the pro version. And instead of me pricing it, I think pricing is another topic, but I just wanted to articulate for you some kind of grid that you guys can work on in order to articulate a monetization offer and thinking of, instead of pricing, thinking of customer lifetime value. And as we said earlier, the more value you add, the more revenue you'll be able to unlock. Now, the direct monetization path is, I would say, the easiest to grasp. Obviously, we'll go through some example, but it's a bundle of insights. So let's say sales insights. You have a product that will provide a competitive insights, user and team insights, literally like any category of insights you can offer to your customers. And then, of course, you'll be able to bundle those with features that Looker platform offers, but you can also attach other products, sending text messages using Twilio or having a webhook that would send data to segments. So any technical capabilities to create your own solution. And of that, you'll be able to tier those products and those services, and we'll see an example very shortly. So on Looker, and very quickly, we saw the direct, indirect monetization. Now that we have all those notions, hopefully clearer than they were before, we can think about what monetary value I want to add to my customers. So I can think about, do I want to provide them as an indirect monetization path, a basic reporting? Maybe a pro version will be around operational analytics. So I will provide them maybe more real-time insights. I will offer them drilling, alerting. Maybe I will provide them an API access to the data. And ultimately, I want for a segment of my customers to self-serve. Like literally, they're going to have a dashboard, they're going to have all those insights, but I want them to access a data catalog and harvest insights on their own. And they can start, of course, with Looker from a dashboard and then explore the data and change the time frame. They don't want the weekly sales, they want the sales day by day, or they want to see how from a Monday to another Monday sales are going to, and you're not going to build dashboard for them. So adding a component of services is almost key to unlock, I would say, the final value. If you don't want to bring too much CS, customer success, or other queries to your team. Of course, we love supporting our customers, but how great is that if they can self-serve and answer questions on their own without raising a ticket? Another monetization framework I wanted to share with you is also thinking with different dimensions and not thinking of just features, but thinking of how much historical data I can offer. The grain of your data is also very valuable. Like, do I want to provide aggregate data, for example, for indirect monetization? And of course, I will offer them transaction level for the most monetary value. Do I want to provide them self-service, scheduler? Do I want also provide filters? Maybe the basic offer has no filters, and an advanced offer will allow them to filter by any region or any category of product. And lastly, really thinking of, do I want those customers to be to use the self-service segment of the product, or just basic reporting? And again, this is just more like a framework for you. If you think of drafting a solution, I think it's good to think of indirect, direct monetization, capabilities of the platform that you want to provide into your product, and thinking also in terms of data, grain and volume of data. Now, just a quick example at glance. So really, because we all want to know how to get started, we always start with, I would say, a dial tone product. You have few single look in Looker, create already adding value to your customers by surfacing highly aggregated metrics, providing them a product where they can already engage and question and come back actually to you with questions and say, hey, I would like this metric by day of the week, etc., where you can be able to have, under the hood, you'll have the self-service exploration capability that you can upsell them on. Ultimately, again, this is an academic example. And of course, as they're going to have more, I would say, tiered offer. You're going to be able to say, well, let's say the gold members can access more dashboards, and you can articulate those dashboards. And we'll see there are different techniques in order to roll out and acquire customers. You don't necessarily have to start by giving them, I would say, a pro or limited experience. You can give them like the full-blown applications that you've built. And instead of trying to harvest net new customers, you can just focus on reducing churn and maintaining them by providing them more service, so they don't have any reasons to churn, because you already provide them all capabilities, and they de facto make this your product part of their job. Lastly, we invite you to think about going beyond business intelligence. Looker platform offers you API pairing from any object in Looker to an API call that returns the data, where you can surface the data and shape it maybe into using another map or using another visualization libraries. So you've never locked into the canvas of a dashboard, but think really about building modern data products. And finally, monetize it with all the things we discussed, with the different dimensions, whether it's the grain of the data, whether it's the access of more reports or accessing to more features, or both, where you're going to be able to present and articulate to your customers what value you're going to bring them. So this is really important. You need a place where you're going to communicate, where you're going to tell them what they're going to access, what insights, and what's going to do for them, and what features it's going to be unlocking for them. So of course, everything that we talked about is really centered around embedded analytics, for you to not have to build a data analytics platform, but really thinking of leveraging Looker, embedding it into your product, and spending most of the time on the go-to-market instead of building a product. Now, just for example at glance, and I hope we have a little bit more time, but really thinking of just wanted to show you some examples. And actually, some customers, I worked with them like 4 or 5 years ago. Counter, they're still in Australia. They are now part of the Lightspeed group that also is a customer, Looker customer. And just wanted to show you how they bundle those offers. Like, of course, they really present Looker features, of course, white labeled, but they really present features to their customers. They sell on that, like access to PDF. And I forgot to mention, Counter is a POS company. Like accessing reports, like staff analytics, team analytics, products analytics, sales, revenue. So all of that, they have like different tiers for those insights. Same thing with Atlassian. I'm sure you're familiar with Atlassian. B2B collaboration. So here, same thing. I don't know if you can see on the screen, but trust me, on the left, what they sell is really the catalog of insights. They don't say, well, we're going to sell dashboard and insight. A lot of companies don't do that. I don't think it's valuable to say, well, we also have dashboard and insights. But really taking the time to catalog the categories of insights you're going to provide, and that's what Atlassian is doing. I'm reading user and team productivity analytics. I'm reading operational analytics. So really taking the time to articulate those insights. Same thing with this company Upsell. Same thing with HappyCo. So really taking insights part of the product and services in order to increase the sales of your core product. Now, earlier I talked about revenue. I talked about monetization, and of course, you have to recoup those revenue fast. I love support trends. I think they launched their product within 2 months. Really go to market as fast as you can. Get feedback as fast as you can. Like build an iframe. Focus on the value that we talked about. Focus on those golden metrics. Don't scratch all those unnecessary charts that are unreadable. Really focus on what insights are going to be valuable for your consumers, but they really understand. If they don't understand it, you can be sure they will never open those dashboards. If they do open it, they open it once, and it's going to bounce forever. Wix, we are very, very proud of working with Wix, and they are they're leveraging Looker for sales analytics, visitor analytics. I really learned from Wix on how they went to market. They're really, really trying to provide value to their customers, and they are proving the value to their customers, meaning they offer for 1 year, I don't know if you see, but their monetization strategy is to offer to their customers all those analytics products for free or included for 1 year. And that's really a testimonial on really unlocking value for your customers, and it really shows that you want to prove the value to them instead of trying to sell them net new and have like those sales cycle and giving them demos and everything. It's having a product available to them, putting them on the premium offering right off the gate, and focusing on keeping them by enriching your product. Another example here with Carrefour, a retail in Europe, Brazil, China, and really a global retail company. I sat with their data officer last December 2020. And they were sitting, of course, on a lot of data, transactional data. And we had a conversation. He also worked at Procter & Gamble. And he told me, we have all those transactions, and we want to launch a data product that not only will allow our providers to access information, but we want to sell those insights because we think it can help them boosting their revenue. For example, shaving cream, they can log in, like Unilever or Procter & Gamble can analyze the data and say, hey, I want to have the total sales of the retail in, let's say, Rio de Janeiro. They want to see how the sales of the shaving cream is doing for all the retail in Rio de Janeiro. And then they have, of course, a premium offer where you can see how the competitors are doing. So maybe they can buy some more ads, maybe paper ads, billboard, in order to increase sales. So this is more like a 360 offer, but we just wanted to show you. It's called POS and Data Shopper. It's obviously you can check it out online, and it's powered by Google BigQuery and Looker. And if anyone from Carrefour is on the call, I just want to congratulate them on this huge success. Another company that I admire by their rigorousness on focusing on delivering value to their customers is Drizzly, where you can buy liquor online on the phone, on your mobile phone, sorry. And really what they looked is, of course, service an amazing application for their consumers, but also creating a net new revenue stream for their suppliers. And they categorize through bronze, silver, gold, platinum, all the insights they were able to provide to their customers. And literally thinking of what we talked about in direct monetization is really ranking by monetary value the different dashboard. They call it report. We always use report and dashboard. And they literally ranked those reports and categorized them in order to provide a direct monetization offer. And I think this team, and we I don't want to give actually any number, but they are hugely successful. And my last example is Postman. They have a wonderful product around API management. Actually, we use it at Looker. Same thing if they're on the call. Yeah, you guys have an amazing product. Keep on going. And instead of building a net new data analytics product, they embedded Looker in order to surface all the insights and providing us customers value by offering us insight for their enterprise customers, and of course increasing their revenue and creating a net new data insights product for their enterprise segment for now. But I'm nearly sure they are considering on rolling out this product to other customers. That was my last customer use case, and if you have any any notes you want to send me or comments, this is my email at Google. But most importantly, I was just very proud of presenting this session to you, and I look forward to keep talking with you all.